Welcome in, everybody, welcome in. Hello everyone, it is Halloween night and we have some very spooky new FS25 information for us. Preview and engine interview, ground deformation. It's not a secret anymore, the ground and Farm Simulator 2025 will deform. But you want some details, don't you? Well, go and get some. Alongside new screenshots visualising how the ground will deform, senior software engineer Eddie Edwards from Giant Software will go further into detail on how it actually works. Eddie tells us about you and your position first. What's your role? I'm one of the senior programmers for Farm Simulator, been at Giant since the early days of FS13. I created the original PlayStation 3 port and I have been responsible for other ports of the Giant's engine to PS4, 5, Switch and iOS. I'm very much the PlayStation guy at the company, but I also work on cross-platform engine technology such as density maps, rendering, shader compiler, some physics, audio, etc. There's not much in the Giant's engine that I haven't worked on to some extent over the last 12 years, and in particular, of course, I created the new technologies that bring us ground deformation for FS25. The improved density map system, the new terrain geometry system, and the terrain virtual texturing system. Most of that went over my head, but firmness and viscosity, I can't pronounce that word. How the ground deforms. Depending on the ground type, the deformation and compression in the soil is dependent on multiple factors. Take a look. Oh wow! Oh my golly gumdrops. I haven't even looked at the tracks. They look quite good. What I'm liking is the puddles. Like, look at that. Hold on, what's going on with me? Okay, so this is the John Deere driving through a field. Look at the tracks and that. Those look a wee bit, well, actually they don't look too bad. I was going to say it's maybe a wee bit of too sharp of an edge along this, but it still looks really good. There's oh wow, look at the mud on the tires. Oh, this is actually really interesting. Look at it going along that path even. And then the big case. Wow. Look at the mud on the tracks. What factors define how the ground deforms? Eddie. A number of factors affect this. Firstly, every ground type has a different level of firmness and can't pronounce that word to save my life. Tarmac cannot be deformed at all. Fair enough. For instance, while mud can be deformed a lot due to different firmnesses, and driving on snow instantly crushes it, while driving on mud causes it to compress over a longer time due to different viscosities. Also, if the ground is wet, this affects the deformation as well. Which vehicle you are driving also affects its deformation. The weight of the tractor and the width of its tires both affect the reaction of the terrain, and a slower moving vehicle will sink faster than a faster moving vehicle. I actually think that's like some real attention to detail there of like having, you know, the different speeds. I'm going to move this. Hold on, there we go. Oh no, this way. There we go. So having it, you know, if you're going faster, if you're going slower, you sink, or if you're going fast, you kind of glide over it more. That's really cool. So we gotta look at some of the snow. Look at this, even this texture of the snow alone. Oh wow. Okay, I was not expecting to see this. Okay, I did see this photo. Look at that snow. Okay. I didn't think I could get any more excited about FS25, but I think I am even more excited. And then look at the snow, the way it's piled up on the treads of the tractor. Oh my goodness, like that's actually incredible. How does ground deformation affect gameplay? What will players feel? For the first time, FS25 gives a real physical response from the terrain. You will feel the tractor bumping over the ground and you will see it create ruts and tracks, and if you go back and drive over those ruts, you will feel the effect from them as well. It is also harder to steer if you've dug into the ground. Just as it is in real life, driving in rain will be more difficult than driving when it's sunny. Your tyre configuration now has a greater effect too, and you may need to consider which tyres are best to use for different seasons and different type of field work. With this little gif here, you can see it bouncing over those ridges. That shows no ground deformation. Well, it shows. Oh wait, I can't zoom into that anymore. Look, I think that's not. That looks like more like a straw. The straw is caught on the tires. See where like this is hanging. I think the straw's caught on the tires, and then this here, shows the model again caught. This looks so good. The fun of plowing on another level. While the deformation on the soil is individual to the machines, their weight and other conditions, one field activity in particular, will probably feel a whole lot different in Farming Simulator 2025. What kind of machines / equipment will showcase ground deformation best? Plowing is a new experience now. The plow creates real physical furrows which can not only be seen more clearly on screen, but also affects the tractor when driving over them. Yes! We finally have 3D furrows in Farm Sim. It is only taking literally 16 years. But finally, I am so excited. Also, machines with caterpillar tracks come into their own now, as they can handle uneven ground so well. Okay, look at this wall. Like, oh my goodness. Look at these furrows. Look at the texture. I'm sorry, look at the texture of the plow turning the soil over. Look at that alone. Oh, this is showing like them. Oh. Oh, wow. Okay, I am in love with this. Once no more, let's talk performance visual and visual challenges. Okay, wow. Excuse me. Oh. What were the technical challenges in implementing ground deformation? The ground deformation works on a grid size of 12.5 centimeters, which works out to 16k times 16k for a 2k map. Sorry. The ground deformation works on a grid size of 12.5 centimeters, which works for a 2 kilometer map. Oh, that must be 16,000 grids per 16,000 of the grids across a map. That's 256 megapixels. The map itself is only 4 megapixels. There were various technical challenges with storing this data efficiently, and also with processing the data efficiently. For instance, when tools like cultivators or plows work in the fields, and when vehicles drive over the fields and react to these fine-scale bumps and ridges. Okay, so the plow texture and the cultivation textures will stay. But wait, so we were told that they will the ruts and all, eventually they will disappear the way tire tracks do in Farm Sim at the minute. But based on this, storing this data efficiently when vehicles drive over the fields and react to these fine scale bumps and ridges. Maybe they're going to stay? Unless, you go back and maybe if you roll it, they go away or something like that. There's also a procedural level of ground deformation which is mapped with geometry in a similar way to how the terrain is texture mapped with images, except it runs on the CPU instead of on the faster GPU, so we had to heavily optimize this code. Oh, and this is a big block of text. See, this is all the technical stuff now. How is ground deformation data stored and managed? Since ground deformation works at a higher resolution than what we've dealt with before, we wanted to save memory in areas which are not deformed, e.g. on rocky mountains, or in places where the player has not yet been. So we created a sparse version of the density maps. Okay. This stores tiles of data only in regions where deformation actually exists. Furthermore, to reduce memory footprint even more, the tiles are all compressed using a more advanced version of the existing density map compression that we've used in the past. Additionally, to support fast operations on this high resolution data, we created a density map processing unit, DPU, which is like a little GPU emulator that runs in the CPU, and is capable of performing operations on density maps at much higher speeds than previously. It can actually be programmed using our in-house shader language, although this feature is not used in FS25 yet. Again, they are constantly working on things. I just highlight the whole paragraph. For speed, the whole system, data compression, DUP operations, and procedural generation is written using native SIMD instructions. Blah blah blah. Whatever on PC and that on consoles, and that on ARM based Macs. There is far more SIMD optimization code in this version of Farming Simulator than we've ever had before. Tell us about how you optimize deformation physics for performance. In previous versions of Farming Simulator, the custom vehicle physics was dealing with terrain at a resolution of 0.5 meters. With terrain deformation and displacement, the resolution is now 0.25 meters, 4 times greater in each direction, or 16 times as many triangles. This made our wheel versus terrain collision detection 16 times slower, so we wrote a custom implementation of this for FS25, which is approximately 30 times faster than the old code. So overall, our vehicle physics is now about twice as fast as before, even with all the new features. Okay, that is good to know. That is really important about how fast the tractors will react to the things, I think. This is all very technical stuff that's kind of going over my head. The new physics code involved some quite heavy math and numerical analysis. As a math student and a computing student, love that. Fortunately, I have a master's degree in mathematics, which helped me a lot on this task. I too want to get a degree in mathematics. Mathematics or computing is what I want to get my degree in. How does the game handle visual transitions for ground deformation? I'm out of breath. I need to slow down reading. Another new feature for FS25 is the terrain quad tree mesh, which enables high resolution triangle rendering near the player but uses a low resolution further away. There's no need to render the deformed geometry, which is hundreds of meters away. Okay, I think this is similar to what we have in 22 with, it's like the ring you have, so if you're zoomed out, like the ring, you can see like where the texture changes. I think this is what they're talking about, but it says hundreds of meters away, so it might be I think it's definitely going to be expanded. The geometry smoothly morphs from deformed to not deformed some distance from the player. However, this transition is quite well hidden because of another new technology in FS25, which is the terrain virtual texture system. Okay, they are directly referring to the ring here, I think. Although deformation is not rendered in the distance using triangles, it is still shaded and rendered into the terrain texture, using a graphics technique called normal mapping. So the deformation is still clearly visible even on distant areas where the rendering triangle count is very low, and you can see the tracks left by the AI vehicles. Even if you're watching them from half a kilometer, you can see the tracks left by the AI vehicles even if you're watching them from half a kilometer away. For context, that is a quarter of the map. This is going to be big. What do you personally like most about ground deformation in the game? It is a very rewarding experience to implement all these new technologies, and I love the fact that the result is not only a better visual experience for the player, but also that it interacts with physics and gameplay in such interesting ways, making FS25 a much more interesting and realistic simulator than ever before. Okay. And that is the blog. I think this is the 25-minute video from the other day, but we're going to watch it as well. Hold on. Okay, so looking at this is it going back over the ruts. Look at the dirt. Look at the dirt in the rim, and look at the dirt actually like flinging up off the tires. Look at the way it's taken the texture and actually like nearly has crushed it. Whenever you're looking this close, it does like that looks very flat, but I'm guessing if you're further away, it will look better. The way that animation comes up and round, it's spot on. Look at this fur wall. that's created here. Yep, look at the mud. Okay. I've said it last stream. I've said it before. I am so excited for FS25. Another thing I'm going to sit and watch is Riverbend Springs. There's something wrong with it. What's happening on our new map? Happy Halloween, farming fans. So that is what came out for FS25 today.